Alright, I'm going to graph this function, and first I'm going to start by finding the vertical asymptote. So when the bottom equals 0, the bottom of the function equals 0. So that happens when x is equal to -1 and x is equal to 3. And x is a horizontal asymptote. So these two x's make this a bottom heavy function. So one part of the function will be approaching 0 but never be 0. So at y equals 0 there's a horizontal asymptote. And an x-intercept, so when the top is equal to 0 and the function intercepts the x-axis at -3, 0, and y-intercept. So when I plug in 0, I get 3 over -3, so that's 0 and -1. So I'm going to draw all of these on the graph here. Now, yeah, I'll put on the intercepts. So first I'm going to start by looking at this intercept right here. So that's at -3. So I'm going to plug in a number that's to the right of it, 1 unit, so that's 2. And I'll get 5 over three times -1, so I'll get 5 over -3. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. It's not 5 over -3. That's 5 over +3. So that'll be about there. And I'll test a number to the left of it, left of the intercept 1 unit. So that's -4, and I'll plug in -4, and I'll get 1 over -1 over that's -4. -4, -3 times 7, so I'll get 1 over 21. So that'll be a really small number, and that'll be right close to the x-axis, very close. And I'll just test one more number to the left of this intercept, and I'll put in -5 into the function. I'll get -2 over -4 times -8, so I'll get 2 over 32, and that simplifies into 1 over 16. So again, a really small number. And so the trend of this function is like this. So this side will approach the vertical asymptote but never touch it, and this side will keep going on this way. And as you can see, that intercepts the x-axis right there. So now I'm going to move on to this y-intercept. So I'll plug in a function to the right of it, and that's going to give me so I'll plug in 1, and I'll get 4 over 2 times -2, so I'll get -1. I'm plugging 2, so I'm going to plug in 2 into the function. I'll get 5 over 3 times -1, and I'll get 5 over -3. And I'll be somewhere right there. So this graph is going to go this way and this way. Alright, to make sure that that side goes that way, I'll plug in so -1.5. So I'll get -0.5. So I'll get -1.5 over 0.5, -0.5 times that's times -2.5, 3.5. So that gets me, it's gonna get me a negative number. So it's gonna assume that this side keeps approaching this vertical asymptote this way down. And now I'm gonna check to the right of this last asymptote, and I'm gonna plug in 4 into this equation, into the equation of the graph. So I'm gonna get 7 over 5 times 1, so I'll get 7 over 5. That's going to be 1 point something, close to 1.5. So that, about right there. And now I'm going to do another unit to the right. I'm going to plug in 6 into the function, so I'm going to get 9 over 7 times 3, so I'll get 9 over, I'll get 9 over 21, and that simplifies into 3 over 7. It's going to be somewhere here. So this function is going to be like this. And that's how you graph this function. So you can see the vertical asymptotes there and there, and the horizontal asymptote right here, because this part of the function approaches this line, but we'll just keep getting smaller and smaller fraction, but we'll never actually hit 0 or intercept it, because there's only one intercept. That's at -3 right here. So that's the graph of the function.